Hey guys, how are you guys doing? Welcome to Late Nights with Sabr. No, today you guys have Sabr. Sabr is only maybe sometimes comes out on the weekend. But today's show, we got Mr. Trollwerks himself, and you guys are not gonna believe what's gonna happen. He's gonna talk about everything, including that letter that he got by a three-letter agency. Wow. So let me introduce you guys the myth, the man, the legend, Trollworks.
Hey, what's going on, boys and girls? How you doing? So, yeah, I'm here in Texas. For those of you that don't know,
All
one
right.
of the last free states, right? Part of free America,
That's a fact.
um, where I can do almost anything I want, and sometimes it feels like cheating because I know not everybody can do stuff. Some of the stuff that I'm doing. So, respect to those of you that are able to make it work in places where it's not so easy, man.
All right, man. Let me do a little bit of some shout outs and see who we got in here. We have Mr. Guns from the Grave. What's up, bro? Kurt24 never fails. What's up, Kurt? We got IPS. Yo, hey, IPS, man. We got Flying Rich himself. And no, bro, today you guys are getting Sabar, not Saber. We have Come Out in PLA. What's up, Come Out in PLA? And we got V. Damn. Sorry, bro. I'm dyslexic. Shots. Water. Okay. It said the troll under the bridge reporting. Yes, he's in here. We're gonna have a good time today, and let the people know, man, what we're gonna do and what are we gonna talk about. Especially also let them know about the video and whatever you want to know, man. Let them know.
Yeah. So a lot of things going on in Trollworks land, man. Let's see. I posted a story last night. I think it's still up. Maybe it's down right now. But ATF sent me a letter, and I wasn't too happy about it. But it's not as bad as some of you might be thinking it is. All you guys know that I filed for an FFL, right, as a dealer and manufacturer. So a little bit of a hiccup there. They sent me a letter back saying they couldn't process my payment, which of course is bullshit. Um, I got plenty of money in the account. There's never, been a problem with that. But they like to try to slow roll some stuff, especially if they don't want you to have a license, right? There's no reason, no valid reason why I shouldn't have a license. I've got no criminal background, served honorably for 20 years, had a TS clearance in the military. I mean, bottom line is I should be able to get an FFL, but I've heard from others that were also applying for FFLs that they were also getting slow rolled purposefully. And some of the FFLs are getting their renewals denied. So, is this part of it? I don't know. I do know that I entered everything correctly. I double and triple checked all my info before I mailed it off certified, so they can't say they never received it. But yeah, I get this letter back saying, no, sorry, we can't process your payment. So first thing I did today is that I fucking went to get a cashier's check and I mailed that shit off, certified again. So
So I
they really
guess
can't say shit.
Come Out in PLA says always use checks or money orders. Do you think
Yeah,
that they were watching your shit lately, bro? I mean, they are, but like
they're always watching everything, man. I mean, you know what? Fuck them.
no. But
Um,
let me say something real quick. I
yeah,
have heard that they are doing a lot of BS with that, especially right now, and that it's taking, I guess, a little bit longer. I don't know about that. I don't know if you know about that. But yeah.
I've heard. Yeah, I heard that they're basically slow rolling people and denying people for no good reason. I've heard. All right. So, anyways, who, whatever. I'm moving forward with that. It's not a no, but it's a, it's a fucking delay. So probably another week to 30 days worth of delay for that
Yeah,
bullshit.
for sure.
Which is kind of I'm pissing me off because I was hoping that they would have already called me up for the fucking interview by now, but whatever.
Okay. So for the people that don't know what it is or how it is to get uh your FFA, right? That's what you're trying to do.
FFL,
FFL.
Federal
Kind of,
Firearms License. Yeah.
yeah. Could you kind of explain to them like a little bit of the process, so they can kind of
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah, so to do an FFL, there's a site on the ATF website that talks about the process. It gives you a form. I forget the form number, but you can fill it out right there. I printed it out, signed it, sent it in with a pair of fingerprints, and a check, or your credit or debit card information, and that gives you the address to mail it off to. So you don't want them to lose that. Make sure you send it like certified. And then it's supposed to take like 2 months. That's what they say. And it's been that way for a little while. So they send off the fingerprints to the FBI. The FBI does their background check on you, and then they either say they give a recommendation to either allow you or not. Kind of like when you want to purchase a firearms, right? They do your background check and they say like yay or nay. So it's sort of the same thing. And then once it comes back, if as long as yours is good, then they're supposed to schedule an interview with you, and then they come and they talk to you about what you're doing, and maybe they're trolling back. They probably are, because when I
I
called to ask
imagine.
them about it, the girl giggled when I said Trollwerks. So fuck them. They probably watched the videos that I tagged them
Damn, bro.
in. Anyways, so they're supposed to come, see your shit and talk to you and just like figure out basic stuff. Make sure you're gonna follow the law and you're gonna put serial numbers on shit, and that you got a secure place to store the weapons, and that you're gonna be able to keep like the business's weapons separate from your own weapons, that type of thing. I've talked to a few people that went through the process. They said it wasn't really that hard. So, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Again, they've got no real good reason um, for denying it. So fuck them. Um, so that's the letter that I posted last night. In other news, I've got like my website's up, trollworks2a.com. It's not like perfect yet or anything, but it should be functional. You should be able to get up on there and see some stickers and order some stickers right now. I put my only original design up there, which is the shroud for the Silencer Co. Maxim 9. Pretty cool. It's kind of like it covers the light, and it makes it look more streamlined with the gun itself, instead of looking kind of goofy and out of place.
All right, man.
Um,
So I have a question for you.
yeah.
What are you gonna be doing on the website? You're just gonna be at the moment just like doing the stickers, or are you already doing the website for once you get your FFL?
So right now it's really just oriented towards like stickers. I'm gonna add probably t-shirts and stuff like that. The one thing I do want to do, so eventually I want to work on my website and get it up to par, right? And let me
Yeah,
tell you what par is in Trollworks world. Par in Trollworks world for the gun is basically, how you go to like a website, like let's say Chevrolet.com, and you can
correct.
go find your favorite car, the Corvette, and then you can go select the color, and you can select the fucking engine, and you can select all the modifications and stuff,
Yeah,
and you can see it before you go and talk to a dealer. I want to do the
bro.
same shit for Trollworks, where you can come in and you can fucking build your own gun online, and then hit order, and poof, it
Ooh.
gets mailed out to like your local FFL, and you go pick it up from your local FFL. You know what I mean? Like that's where I want to get.
You know what, man? I got something to say. For a while, everybody was using that feature. Even if you would like want to buy some new rims or tires for your car, they would show you how it would look. They would show you everything, man. All of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden, people stop using it. I don't know if it's because of the amount of data it takes or what the heck it's going on there. But for a gun, that is gonna, man, that'll be so dope, bro. Because now you have people sitting there be having whatever you're gonna offer, changing it around, and that's just gonna at the end of the day, it's gonna make somebody actually wanna buy something because they're gonna be looking at it and now they wanna hold it. That's
Yeah,
smart.
exactly, man.
So
Exactly. So and that's the thing. Like, there's tons of gun manufacturers out there, and like I don't know of anybody that's really doing it like that. Everyone I can think of is, you go to the gun store and you go buy it, and maybe you can see it on, H&K's website or Ruger's website or whatever, and then try and get one ordered to your local FFL. But you know, Glock's not customizing your guns for you. You know what I mean?
Uh,
Like, you can't call up Glock and be like, dude, I want a purple one with fucking sapphires
hey,
on the
unless you're that
handle. You know
dude,
what I mean?
that dude that what's his name? Who did it for that? Smith and Wesson or that Jeffrey guy that sells makeup.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Okay, so there's this guy that they made a big scene. I forgot if I don't know if somebody's on the thing and could tell me. But this guy is Jeffrey Starr. He's like this makeup guy that's homosexual. But the problem is that he's kind of a groomer, bro. Like he blackmails people. Yeah, Jeffree Star. He blackmails Guns from the Grave. Do you remember the gun company? So I guess that gun company reached out to him, bro, and they customized a gun for him. And I'm not gonna lie, the gun, somebody said, nah, bro, I don't know. The gun looks nice, man. But the thing is that I don't know if they did the research and saw who this man is actually is. Like this man has a thing for trying to go with straight men and blackmailing them and making them think that they ended up doing stuff with him. Some might, some I don't know. Once again, Beretta, bro. So Beretta did a nice gun for him, and that's why I was trying to kind of say, like the only way you'll get a custom gun is if you're somebody or you have clout. But now you're bringing it to the average Joe, which is something super dope because that's what pretty much 3D printing is all about.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah. And even though I'm kind of using like 3D printing as a means to do this, I'm not trying to take away from 3D printers, man. I mean, those
Yeah,
of us that are already doing it, we're doing it. And, I think if anything, it's going to strengthen the home built community,
correct.
because if you have, again, I'm nobody right now, but my vision is to grow it and to eventually replace the big name companies, River,
Oh,
Glock,
for
all that
sure.
stuff. If I'm successful in doing that, and I'm using the same basic technologies that you can do in your bedroom, I think it's going to help the community immensely. You know what I mean? Because it with all of us doing it kind of like in our bedrooms and our garages and basements, we're still kind of scattered, and we're not that unified, right? But if you've got, let's say, a big proponent that is doing the same things you're doing and saying, it's when there's one person saying, it would be neat if we could do this. Well, that's a whole lot different than if you've got a company that, let's say, we've got, I don't know, 10,000 pieces sold every year, something like that. That's going to be a whole lot different because it'll drive the industry changes much more quickly if we have that.
Yeah, yeah. And I think what's cool about it also is that you're gonna actually, in a way, build a tighter community because now you have this type of power, and now you could collab with other people that might not have an FFL, but they're good at designing or anything like that, and now you guys can make a collab, which that's what I believe the community should strive for. I mean, we already do it, but to take this, me and you, we spoke about what we want to see this community grow forwards. Remember Trollworks dream?
Yep.
Man, so you had that dope dream where if you want to explain to people your dream, bro, a little bit.
Yeah, so that's like kind of another. I've got like all these things I want to do, right, and I can't
Okay,
do them
okay.
all at the same time. So I can only like work on one little slice of the pie at a time. But honestly, what I would like to do, in addition to that, in addition to being the manufacturer, right, is to provide the location where people can
Yeah,
get together and build guns together. And it's not everybody in their own basement, whatever. I mean, you can still do that if that's what you choose, but to provide a place where you can get together and you can get on like the latest and greatest machines, the best printers and the Ghost Gunner 3s or 4s or whatever comes out next, um, and you can not only can you go there to do it, right? Because some people are like, I'm fine doing it in my basement,
yeah,
but the other thing is, we would be able to provide certain things for you that you can't really do at home. So, for example, you come into like a little Trollworks retail shop, and you say, "Hey, I want to order these parts," and you pay cash for it. And now the orderer that's putting it on their credit card is not you; it's Trollworks, right? And so Trollworks is like ordering all the shit, and then if somebody says, "Hey, who ordered that 10-inch 45 cal barrel?" Oh, it was Trollworks.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't Come Out and Play or VV Luminous or Sabrprints, right? And then there's you only require to keep a receipt for so much time, and that's different than like ordering all your Amazon shit and your UPS stuff straight to your house.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
different. So that's one thing, being able to order stuff straight through the retail shop, and then being able to build it there with other people. And it's different, sitting across from each other on the screen is a little bit different than sitting across the table from each other and, hey, hand me that hammer, and you
Yeah.
want to go shoot after this, let's go try this as soon as you're done with that
Well,
gun, man.
especially
you know
because now, if you're making a problem, you can't see certain stuff like this, right? But now, if that person's next to you, they'll be able to see that, and they'll be able to control the situation and let you know, like, hey, man, look, check it out. You're doing this wrong. And now you're helping each other out. But you know what I think would be dope, bro? If all
hmm.
your employees dress as trolls, bro. That would be dope, bro. If,
uh, I don't know
imagine,
about dressing as a troll,
yeah, I think you would
but
have to pay them
I
like a
think
lot way more.
I think on their business, the fucking, what's it called? Like the job posting, it's gonna
Yeah,
say troll. What is it? What do I do? Whatever I tell you to do,
bro, you
man.
gotta be a troll.
Whatever you're good at, and whatever we work out for your job, man.
Yeah, man. So I mean, I think that's really dope. You actually thinking about that for your site because, like I said, a lot of the times that's how. I mean, well, Amazon now does that in a way with like if you're gonna buy something, you could VR it, right? But that website idea kind of went away, and it's actually would be really dope for the community. And like you said, it's gonna help people grow because say maybe that person is trying to get into this, now they get the gun sent to wherever they need to pick it up, right? And now they see it and they start looking into it, and now this might spark an interest, right, to
Hmm.
maybe get into it. And now they just go to your nearest troll works and start building.
Yeah, yeah, and have one in every town, right?
Oh, okay, I guess somebody's asking about how's the Twitch stream doing, bro? Come out in PLA.
Yeah. So the only time I stream on Twitch is when I'm building something. I just turn it on, and it kind of shows the print camera. I mean, I don't really stream on Twitch other than when I've got a build going.
Yeah. What's up, pushing PLA? Thank you for joining
Yeah,
us,
but if
bro.
you got a Twitch account, I mean, you can look me up and add me, and then if you just want to check in and see what I'm building every time it says I go live, once I go live, I'm probably near the keyboard, so I might be able to talk a little bit.
Yo,
But
so I'm gonna say something real quick about the winner for the hat. So the winner from the hat was Ron Bear. He still hasn't reached out to me. I think he has. I'm gonna let it run a little bit longer, maybe by the end of today. So I'm just posting it up there in case Ron Bear is here or he sees this. You got until the end of today, bro. If not, I'm gonna go and redo it again for tomorrow. I don't know who Ron Bear is. I'll repost it later on, but yeah, that's the winner. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because Trollwork is gonna send some of his stickers over to me. So what we're gonna do, me and the boys, is that for whoever wins, we're gonna try to have somebody um, see if we could get sponsors to donate stuff to you guys. But what we are gonna be sending is sticker packs. Everybody's gonna work on well, people already have their stickers, but we're gonna try to just send you a little pack full of stickers and maybe some extra swag so you guys could enjoy till we start at least growing. Once we grow, we'll probably figure something else for the winners. But yeah, Trollworks is one of the first ones that reached out to me with the sticker stuff. So let me thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Oh,
Yeah.
he said, "Yo, where do I get the Trollworks stickers?"
Oh yeah. So I print shit, man. The my website went live. It's trollworks2a.com. And you'll see stickers and some other shit I'm working on there. It's mostly right now. I think there's 3 stickers you can order, and you could, if you wanted to get a shroud kit, you could do that if you've got a silencer co Maxim 9.
So it's
Um,
trollworks.com,
yeah,
right?
trollworks2a.com.
Trollworks 2A.
Yeah, trollworks2a.com. Um,
So I think check the comments, bro. Is that it? I think I
yeah,
might.
that's it. That's it. So, yeah, if you go, well, without the space, I think you got a space
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I knew I messed up.
But that's basically it. If you can go check it out, I mean, somebody try it, man, and tell me if it's all working right, because I haven't even. I just put it up live, I think, on Friday or Saturday night, and I don't. I don't have an order yet. So if one of you wants to get a sticker and put an order through, man, we'll make sure this thing's working right.
All right. All right. I'm gonna say something also. All you motherfuckers that are arguing in the comments, chill with that shit. I mean, do what you gotta do, but just make sure you guys keep that shit, you know, to a minimum. Um, I got a bunch. My mods. If you see that dish is getting out of hand, you guys know what to do. I actually finally added some mods in there, but yeah, we came here for Trollworks. We came here to support each other, and that's what it's about, guys. Come on. Oh, the homie saying something. I know, right, bro? All right, bro. So, okay, so we talked about the letter. It was pretty much nothing. They're just like the homie said, probably trolling you. We spoke about your website. Um, you want to talk about the video?
Yeah, so I'm just about wrapping up taking clips for the video. I know I've got a few, but if you want to get in on it, you really got till pretty much tomorrow, and that's if I can squeeze it into the video, because I'm doing a reel. I do a lot of reels on Instagram, and they're limited to 1 minute, so I'm pretty much at a minute's worth of video. But I might be able to squeeze it in if I start like increasing, like 2xing the speed on a couple of the clips. So if you want to get in on it, man, I'm doing a video with a lot of guys kind of driving through their hoods with a gat in their passenger seat or on their lap or whatever. And the video kind of pans their from like the steering wheel down to their gats. So if you want to get on that, send me a 3-second clip. Just do it through Instagram. You can be anonymous, or I can tag you, whichever you prefer. Um, and then it's gonna be dope, man. I plan on editing it like on Thursday and releasing it on Friday, and I think that shit's gonna be fire.
And you guys, if you guys haven't seen his stuff, I know that this video is gonna be fire because he's trying to get like the whole community involved.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I'm definitely trying to get all the big names. I talked to P80 Ralph sent me a clip. Mr. Snow sent me a clip. Um, Sabr sent me a clip. Guns from the Grave sent me one. Um, what kind of gat? Any kind of like homemade gat, man. It can be 80%, like a P80. It can be a 3D printed. It can be a ghost gunner machined out. Yeah, it is fucking hilarious. So you should get some of that shit, man.
yeah, that
Yeah,
sticker's
fuck
fire.
yeah.
3D lightsaber advocate. What's up, Goomby?
So
But yeah, man.
so if you want to be in on that video, man, no later than tomorrow night, give me that clip, 3-second clip, dude. Otherwise, you're gonna miss out. And that I can tell you right now, that shit, yep, I did. That shit is gonna be pretty fire. One of my last videos had about 200 likes and like 3,000 views in the first, what was it, 24, 48 hours. So I think this one's going to be even better because like I said, I've got some bigger name guys in the community um, going to be part of that. So
All right, bro. So the perks, the printed perks, I got some. They're coming along okay. But what I'm planning on doing, and thank you for reminding me. Actually, I'm gonna order some resin and all. So all the stuff that I'm at the moment going on my website, I'm gonna redo my website also. And the perks and all the little stuff that I'm making, I'm gonna end up doing it with resin. The reason I'm doing it with resin is because for small stuff like that, it's gonna look better quality and it's gonna be stronger. I sent out somebody like just as a free thing, a glow in the dark one, man, and I think I wrapped it. I'm not sure, but when they got it in the mail, it was broken. So that's why I'm also gonna start doing resin stuff, resin perks, and I need to work on that RX collection because I really have to. But just in the beginning, Trollwerks, I didn't know how much time doing all these shows was gonna take, bro. But it's a lot of time. But I enjoy it. I love it, and I mean, I'm gonna keep doing it. But flying
that's
routes,
what's important, man. You do what you love, and then it's not work, right?
yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, even though people say like, "Oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do that," yes, you do have to do stuff. I mean, like Trollworks, I'm pretty sure it's kind of irritating getting that letter and them they're saying shit, but that's not gonna stop you from the dream
no,
you have,
no,
bro.
they're not going to stop me. I mean,
Yeah,
nothing short of incarcerating me is going to stop me. In fact, I'm probably going to still work on my website from jail, man. They give
facts,
everybody
bro.
iPads nowadays,
Yeah,
so
because it's gonna be some Fed time, so he'll be
yeah,
in a nice place. Alleged,
it's all
no,
good.
let's knock on wood. That's some BS. But you know what I mean, guys? Troll like when you see your dream, when you know you're like the only one that has a vision. A lot of the times, people are gonna say you're weird or you're crazy, or they're not gonna understand. But the people that kind of know what they want and fuck, I didn't even want it to get like this, but I guess it's gonna have to. Sorry about that, bro. It's because there's nothing else that you can like you could do anything you want. If you guys didn't see the John Crumb show today, go watch it. It was dope. They had a great guest. Pretty much a lot of us that immigrated into America, we came here. I didn't even know I was gonna come here. My parents did, but if it wasn't for my parents coming here, I wouldn't have the chance that I have now. For reals, when I was growing up, I didn't really know what America was till I got older, and I had to re-educate myself and understand that this is the land of opportunities. Whatever you were taught, whatever people told you about America, it's a lie because then
Yeah,
you wouldn't have all these people trying to cross the border if it sucks so bad.
you, you hit the nail on the head, man. My dad was an immigrant. He fled a
Yeah,
communist country in 1956 during the Hungarian Revolution. He left Budapest, Hungary, to come over to the States along with his father. And they
right.
split their family apart to do it because my grandmother didn't want to go. She told my grandfather that she was going to stay there, that was her country no matter what happened. So
Yeah.
they split apart, and they did that so that his grandchildren, i.e., me and my sister, and our children, could hopefully have a better life. And honestly, I was thinking about this today. Actually, one of the things that my dad had said in the past was that he said, a lot of Americans don't know how good they have it, and
Yeah.
that then they don't appreciate what they have, and therefore they're not going to fight to keep it because they just expect it. And so some of those things that we thought would never happen in America, like i.e., shelves being empty at the grocery store, and you know, um,
Ooh.
like food shortages and disruptions in the supply chains, shit that has never happened in like the what's it been? It's been like
Probably
65 years
since
that my dad's been here. Okay,
like
it's never happened until like last year, pretty much, or 2 years
maybe
ago.
also when like the Grand Depression. What was it? Yeah, right.
Yeah, the Great Depression. That was
Yeah,
the last
that's
time it
right.
happened in the
Yeah.
states. Yeah,
So
and so most people grew up with kind of spoiled. I mean, honestly,
Facts, bro.
we're pretty spoiled. Um, but open your eyes and make realize what you have, and that not everybody has that. And if some people say America is never great or whatever. If that's true, we wouldn't have people coming from all over the world to come here. Right? My
Exactly.
father and grandfather wouldn't have come here. We wouldn't have like literally millions of immigrants coming into the states like every year. Right?
Yes. And another thing, talking about that shortage, that food shortage, right? That I didn't believe a lot of people that were telling me this, right? Because usually stuff usually happens like in the East Coast, and then it starts coming this way, or wherever there's a bigger supply chain. That's usually how stuff starts. I went to go buy milk yesterday, guys, and it's the first time like that I've seen empty aisles for milk, like since like around COVID, probably because around COVID we had that big scare, right? But it was because it was a scare, right? People were overbuying
Yeah.
for no reason. But yesterday I went to buy milk, and I started looking around the grocery store, and I'm like, are they not stocking up, or what the hell's going on? So that stuff is real. Like you guys, another thing that I want to talk about right now is also that how many weapons we sent to Ukraine that actually affected the military surplus. Like people are paying money, their taxes, everything to a country that a while back didn't care about gun laws. And look at what's going on now. That's why a lot of people need to understand that we have to protect our gun laws before they're gone. Because look at what happened in Ukraine. They were using fake weapons to train, or they were using fake weapons to try to scare people away.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys got to understand that um, you guys might think that this world or this country sucks, but that's because we've been programmed by the music, the videos we watch to believe that. And I'm going to tell you guys a real story, right? I growing up, I was a teenage father at a young age. So when I moved out of my mom's home, I was about maybe 17 years old, and I didn't have no credit score, no nothing like that. So my first apartment was in like the ghetto. People call this area Little Mexico. Like
Mm-hmm.
not Mexico in general, but the Tijuana, because the border towns make so much money, but they're all crooks, and they don't use it to build the border back, because a border town is making so much money, man. Import, export. You have companies that are right there. That way, it's easier to get stuff across the border. So this place was bad. They called it Little Tijuana. It- The first week I moved there, I had to like get out of work early a couple times because there was like a bunch of little mice. And at that time, the mother of my kids didn't like mice, especially because we have two little kids. We don't know if what the mice is gonna do to my kids. So um, when I was living there, the majority of the people living there were undocumented, and they'll start talking about stuff and things like that. Like telling me that in Mexico now they have child support finally. Now they get like I guess what people get here in the United States, which is WIC and food stamps and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I told them, so like would you go back? And he's like, no. And I'm like, so you do love it here, right, bro? And he's like, oh, I fucking love it here because the milk over there is in powder, and the food you have to make a line, and this and that. And I'm like, so what do you love about here? And he's like, the first thing he told me is like that hopefully my daughters can make something better in their life, but how easy it is to get help. He said, how willing people are to help you. And I said, yeah, right. And then the second part he told me is, but you know where we mess up sometimes? And I told him how, man. And he's like, and I saw this in my family too. And that's why I'm bringing it up, is that we come from somewhere where we didn't have it all. So what we do is we try to give our kids what we didn't have. as or what we didn't get when we were kids, correct? Because
Mm,
we're like,
yeah,
man, now we could give our kids this, we could give our kids nice shoes, we could give our kids nice clothes. They don't have to share shoes. They don't have to get hand me downs like in some families do, you know. And what happens is that we spoil our kids, and our kids grow up with this sentiment of entitlement, and they can't delay gratification. And that's the bad thing. I'm grateful that my father used to take me to work since I was a kid. If I wanted a shirt, if I wanted shoes, my mom used to take me to clean offices and homes. My mom was a house cleaner. My dad was a landscaper, but my dad didn't stay like a laborer. He grew his business. By the end of the time, we were the first people in my family on my mom's and my dad's side to actually purchase a home, to actually have a computer like at the school that I went to. I know this is
mm,
weird, but at the school that I went to, bro, it was a bunch of kids. I was probably like maybe out of all those kids, there was probably 10 kids that had a computer, bro. Like their own personal computer at home. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So it's like my dad working his ass off, starting his own business and still working a job. My mom also starting her own business where she was a house cleaner, but that would pay her good money. She would be able to come home on time to take care of us and cook for my father. We forget that if we want to make something in life, there's sacrifices that we have to do. Shit is not handed to us, and that's the problem with social media.
Yeah,
Like,
there's definitely a lot of feeling of entitlement, and let's be clear: nobody owes you shit. Nobody owes you nothing.
yeah,
Not food, not clothes. Once you're 18, okay. I mean, your parents are supposed to make sure you make it to 18. After that,
yeah,
nobody owes you a fucking thing, right? Um, and everything that you get, you should expect to have to work for.
yeah.
Some people work harder than others. I get that. Some people, take pictures of their ass and they make millions. I get it. But, to say that you're entitled to something, no, not really. Um, I think we're missing a little bit of a work ethic in the States. I think, yeah, there's a lot of people just feel entitled, and we probably need to fix that. Um, I don't know how. That's just, I don't know. People that grow up kind of spoiled feel that way. The people that had to saw their parents bust their butts and stuff, they don't usually feel that way.
Nah, bro, they don't. Okay, so we're kind of talking about a touchy subject, bro. You want to kind of talk about your upbringing or what you saw
Yeah,
your
I'll talk
parents
about
have to
it.
do in order for you to be in the spot that you are?
Yeah, so I mean, I grew up pretty basic. I told you my dad was an immigrant.
Yeah,
My mom was a school teacher. um, she came from a family of like farmers and preachers and teachers, and never really they were never businessmen. They never really tried making any money. They gave all the money they did have back to the church and stuff. So I grew up, even though both my parents worked, it was kind of like lower middle class. Um, because my mom was a teacher, she insisted, that I get an education when I finished high school.
yeah,
I just wanted to enlist in the army, and so we kind of compromised. She said, "Well, you go to college first," and I'm like, "Yeah, I want to just go join the army, airborne ranger, kick doors and shoot bad guys in the face, kind of stuff." So we kind of compromised. I was like, "Okay, I'll put in for an army ROTC scholarship, and if I get it, I'll go to college first, and if I
yeah,
don't, then I'll just enlist." And so I ended up getting it, and I went to Florida Tech on an Army scholarship. And then, the next 20 years I spent in the Army. Most of it was in the infantry. Spent about 4 years in Medical Specialist Corps. So I got to see a little bit different side of, the Army. Um, yeah, most of it was in the infantry. Um, so growing up I grew up in Ohio, kind of 20 miles west of Cleveland. I never thought of Ohio as kind of like a little bit behind until I started going like to Florida Tech, and it seems
damn,
like every time I went back to Ohio, they were quite a bit behind
way back, bro.
the stuff. And
Yeah.
I have a theory on it. My theory is that they think they're kind of advanced there because they're not Amish, right?
Oh,
they, they've got some Amish there. They're like, no, no, we got television, we got radio. And I'm like, yeah, but do you have high speed internet? you know,
yeah, man.
uh, so let's see. But then, I told you my mom was a teacher, right? She taught
Yeah.
French and history, and my dad was he was an immigrant, but he worked at Ford Motor Company, so he was a union employee there.
So he was like
Um,
a blue
yeah, he
collar
was blue
worker.
collar. He was a skilled
Yeah.
labor. He was a millwright, which is like a skilled labor job, kind of on par with like electricians and plumbers and stuff. And for those of you that don't know what a millwright is, they're the ones that like install and maintain all the big machinery and move it around, install new updates and stuff like that. So bottom line is, I had two parents. Both of them were interested in Europe. My mom was a French and history teacher, right? So she loved
Correct.
everything French and all European history. And then my dad had come from Hungary, lived in Belgium for 5 years before coming to the States. And then, so starting around 8 years old, I would go to Europe almost every year for almost every other year for the summer.
Wow.
And like, my mom would give me history lessons along the way, and my dad would introduce me to his relatives and
That's dope.
his friends in Belgium that kind of supported him when they were refugees. But it was neat because I got to see a lot of different stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I got to, an 8-year-old going to the Eiffel Tower and walking through the Louvre and stuff. And, every other
Damn.
year or so, I was going
Your
back to
culture, bro.
some other
Troller's
part of
culture
Europe. Yeah. And
that
so, well, and the one thing that it did for me is it kind of opened up my eyes to, hey, not everybody lives like
has
this. Not everything is the same. Not everything's the standard, right? And
correct.
currency differences with currency going up and down, and the history, um, and just different customs and courtesies and stuff. And I'll tell you what, one of the things I liked the absolute most out of all my trips to Europe, you know what it was?
What was it, bro?
In London, they have this cool museum on like the history of weapons.
For real?
I love that museum, man. It's cool. It's got
Uh,
all the different weapons from all the different ages, like longbows and crossbows and maces and hammers and swords
okay,
and
wait.
shields. And
So do you think that maybe you seen that museum, maybe that sparked something inside of you now that's why
yeah, I
you're
mean, all those things that you do, early on in your life, man, they
yes,
affect you. So yeah, absolutely, man.
yeah.
Because you take that stuff with you for hey, what's up, Chief of Texas?
That's the homie.
You take that stuff with you your whole life. The stuff that you do as a youngster, it affects you. It
Yeah,
molds you.
it does, man. People don't understand that. And it's funny that you're actually talking about that because I think in a show I actually said that I never had an actual Christmas here in the US. Like I think I got one Christmas one time, and that's when we only got like the big gift was the Nintendo 64 Donkey Kong edition. And the
Yeah,
reason we never got the Christmas in the US was because um, once my father started doing his thing correctly and becoming an actual working man, um he started doing good in life. The problem is that you guys got to understand that a lot of us as young men, uh we do it takes us a little bit longer to actually realize, holy shit, we have responsibilities, holy shit, we have a kid, now we have to change, because usually it's depending on the mother you have. If you have a strong female, especially a woman that's an immigrant, or any type of mother, I'm not gonna judge today. uh they're very strong and more nurturing, and they are the ones that usually take care of the household. So my mom was like that. My mom wasn't somebody that cared about money. She tried to do whatever she could with what she had. So I think that's what kind of in a way helped my dad be a little bit less irresponsible. But at the same time, my mom was older than my father. I think when my dad was like 18, my mom might have been like 25 or something, 26, something like that. I didn't even know that till like I grew up later. So once my dad started doing a little bit better in life, and that was probably when I was maybe around maybe 6 or 7 years old. We would always drive down to Mexico. And the thing that I love, bro, is that we would drive, bro. It was me, my sister, my other sister. It was three of us. We would go in different cars. I remember one time we went in this Toyota Corolla, bro, cross country to Mexico. And where my family's from is the middle of Mexico. Like we're an hour away from Mexico City. It's Guanajuato, Celaya. So we're in the center, bro. And so we would drive. My dad would drive all the way through the U.S., all the way till he got down to Texas, and he would cross like around Piedras Negras, like Nuevo Laredo, stuff like that. Like sometimes all the way to Ciudad Juarez. That's on the border. He'll cross right there because
Mm-hmm.
it was cheaper because he was paying for the gas, and in Mexico, you don't get a whole gallon. You get I think it's a liter. So imagine it's like he's gonna drive all the way to Texas. So we start from California, Arizona. What is it? Arizona, New Mexico? No, no, I don't think we cross New Mexico. It's just Arizona. Yes, right, New Mexico and then Texas. Yeah. So we would get to that was a road trip, bro. It took 3 days, I believe, something like that, or two
Mm-hmm.
days. Well, I don't know how it works, but we would always drive that trip and then we would still have to drive Mexico. So we would stop, we would interact with people, bro. When I would get to Mexico and the border, I would see people that were selling stuff in the road. I remember we still have this painting that we bought made out of like aluminum, and
Mm-hmm.
the reason my mom and dad bought it from the lady is because I guess the lady's husband was in prison in Mexico and he would make these and she would go out and sell them, and that's how she would take care of her family. So me seeing, the difference between Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, seeing how people live, even if it was for a couple of seconds, but it opened my eyes. And then me going down to Mexico and us enjoying it, bro. We would stay there sometimes for like 3 weeks. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
and just seeing how my cousins were living, seeing how my family over there was living, seeing how I had family that didn't even have running water at that time. I remember to take a shower, I would have to touch the copper pipe and make sure it was warm. So I would usually take a shower during noon. And then I remember one time my dad was doing bad and he sent us all down there to stay, bro. And it was hard adapting because people said I wasn't Mexican, right? And I'm like really, my skin tone is different to my mom's side. My dad's side, they're more European looking. My dad has color eyes, his family has color eyes. So,
Mm-hmm.
they come from a farm. My mom's side is more city people, but they're more indigenous. So it was just harder, bro. But me seeing all of that, like sometimes waking up and we just had beans and cheese to eat in the morning, like that kind of molded me to actually be like we 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 have so much stuff that we don't realize that we do have. Like we're sometimes we realize that just by being able to sleep in a place and we are able to sleep nice and warm and we don't have to worry about getting Mexico, like the houses didn't have a proper roof. It was like either tin. Hold on, bro. Sorry about that. Let me check. Okay. I heard a noise. It was either like tin or stuff like that. So when it would rain, it would just hear the noises, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That molds you. And what the reason I'm talking about this is because I want to tell anybody that has kids, especially if they're little kids, your kid is not gonna give a flying F about you taking him to Disneyland, you buying him this, you buying them that, because you know what? I took my kids to Disneyland when they were little. They didn't remember it, but you know why I took them? Because I wanted to go to Disneyland. Me and my wife wanted to go to
Yeah.
Disneyland because we had gone to Disneyland, but when we were kids, me buying my son a PlayStation 2 when it came out, It wasn't for my son. It was for me. But you buying all this stuff to your kids, my niece, I have a niece right now, and they're buying her so much stuff. They always used to buy her so much stuff. Now they're buying her more because her dad passed away. So now now they're just trying to fill that void up with like this. Yes, we love you. We're buying you more stuff. Do you know what she plays with, bro? She plays
What's
with the
that?
boxes from Amazon. She plays with like things that are like things that she uses her imagination. Like she loves playing hide and go seek. So what your daughter's gonna remember, because my daughter always tells me this now, is the time we used to spend watching TV, the time we used to spend playing with them, even if it was just whatever game they were saying, just go with it. They're
Yeah.
not gonna remember what you bought them, where you took them.
Right.
But if you
Right.
take them out like on trips, like what you went with, do you remember what they bought you? No, you remember that museum that they took you to, right?
Yeah.
That's what you remember, and that's what where we're making a lot of stuff that we're thinking that just because we weren't able to have nice shoes, we weren't able to have this, our kid is gonna want it. No, because if you look back, my parents probably didn't weren't raised with love or time. My mom told me one time that so I never knew this, right, but the more that I talked to my mom, and now after all the stuff me and my mom been had gone through, it kind of made us close. So, bro, my home, you could come into my home, it's always open, doors open, bro. And I always tell my mom like, "Mom, close the doors," especially now because it's getting worse in my area, right? But now I got gun,
Yeah.
so it's like she don't have to worry about that. But she told me one time that the reason she hates locked doors is because growing up, her mom used to lock her in the kitchen
Oh man.
until those dishes were done. And I
Yeah.
was like, "Why are you like my mom was a little girl at probably, she was probably like 7, 8 years old, making your little daughter, and that's how some families are because they didn't know how to treat you. Well, I was like, why would my grandma do that? Then when I spoke to my grandma told me, and this is real shit, guys. I'm just telling you guys to realize how lucky sometimes you have it. Yes, we all suffer, we all go through shit, but my grandma, all her family died when she was young, so they gave her away to her uncle. Well, her uncle is not her dad or her mom, and in Mexico, that's just another mouth to feed. So what my grandma had to was the slave, pretty much. She did everything around the house. You know what my grandma told me, bro? She never
Mm.
had shoes. She was like in this place just walking around, and that the pigs, because I guess they had pigs, the pigs ate first, and whatever food they was left over that they fed the pigs, that's what she ate. Nobody told her they loved her. And I think that's the problem nowadays is that yes, you tell your kids you love them, you tell your kids this, but over emotion messes people up. There's a
Mhm.
fine line between everything in life, and that's why I'm always a real believer in that we need to find that perfect balance. Life is about a balance. You have too much, it's bad. You have too little, you suffer. Get out of that mentality and realize that whatever cards you got dealt with, learn to play them. Maybe you could switch your cards. Those cards not have to be there for the rest of your life. Who said that? Nobody did. So
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to say, because when you brought up your story about traveling, I'm like, yeah, man, the more you travel, the more you see things, situations, even if it's a bad area, but you see it, your kids realize, damn, my life is not that bad. Like those kids are asking for money in the street when all I have
Yep.
to do is my homework. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
sorry about that.
Yeah. You know, my dad used to stand in line for food. He said every day he'd stand in line for about an hour for a loaf of bread, and then once a week they were his family of five was authorized, I guess, like a half kilogram of meat. So he got that once a week, and
Damn,
on
bro.
those days he'd have to wait in line for like 8 hours. You
Yeah,
know, and so when he he actually started having nightmares. He's 80 years old,
yeah, go
and he
ahead.
started watching like the news coverage of Russians invading
Yeah,
Ukraine, and of course
yeah,
Russians putting down the Hungarian Revolution back in '56 when he was leaving, and it started giving him nightmares because he had it's stuff that he hadn't really put any thought into for
So he got
more.
kind of in a way like flashbacks, huh, bro?
Yeah, like I mean, he had 65 years since he's been in that environment, and
Damn, man.
I never saw him have nightmares the whole time I was growing up with him. So, but the things with like food shortages and then Russian tanks rolling down the street, it set
It
him
just
off again.
yeah. So I'm gonna say, I always say this. So I was talking to this guy from I think the DR, right, the Dominican Republic. He was talking to me. He was asking me questions about 3D printing and stuff like that, and he's like, "Yeah, man, we're allowed to have 3D printing over here, but we're not allowed to buy parts." So like, you know how me and you we could order a trigger,
Yeah.
we could order slides, we could order stuff like that. They're not allowed to, right? They're only
Right.
allowed to order like probably like certain screws and shit like that. And then we start talking, bro. And and I tell him, man, I think it's everybody's right about the gun stuff. So he starts telling me that I guess in the DR they do have guns, but check this out. I don't know how much you guys know about the gun laws in the Dominican Republic, but what he told me was that they were trying to take away the gun laws, right? But the problem is that see, this is the problem between America and other places. In America, and I don't mean no disrespect. I'm gonna put that right out. We got a little bit too comfortable, a little bit too lazy to actually do certain things. In other countries, if you notice, when they try to do shit, they're gonna all do it correctly. They're not gonna get start fighting each other. And in America, what we have, and I think they did this on purpose, is a division. We're if say all of a sudden all the white people go protest about the same thing, and now you get the other cultures that are gonna go protest. That protest, instead of us uniting and protesting about the same thing, what do you think is gonna happen, Trollworks? It's gonna be a division, right? It's gonna be about it's the whites' fault. No, it's the minority's
Yeah, I mean, quite
fault.
honestly, I see more division in our country right now than I've seen in my entire lifetime, and it's
Facts.
disgusting. And I don't believe that it's a natural cause. I believe that there's outside forces
Yeah,
that are trying to pull us apart because
correct.
you conquer by dividing, right? Divide and
Yeah,
conquer,
you
and
know,
and I absolutely believe that there's some outside forces at play right now.
correct, man. You know what? Everything that I've been seeing lately, when with all that stuff that was happening around, because all you're seeing nowadays is that black against white, black against white. It kind of reminds me of when Charles Manson wanted to start that race war with the Helter Skelter shit, right? You remember? That's I feel like they're trying to do the same thing all over again, bro. Where they're trying to create either a race war or maybe a war between rich and poor, right?
Yeah,
Which I kind of understand what you guys hate about this and that, but at the same time, like I said, uh, uh, a lot of people that don't live in America have told me is that in America you could become whatever you want. In other places, the corruption runs so deep that the only way you can make a business or start a business is with money. In
hmm
America, you could start a business with less than $100. I'm being 100% honest. With less, depending on where you live, you could start a business in America even with $0. So if you want to be a sole proprietorship, you're able to all in California, all they ask for you is a EAI. What I'm not good with letters, bro. Remember, I'm dyslexic. EIN number or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, the employer
Yeah.
ID number. Uh-huh.
Uh, yes, exactly. So that's all you need to do, and now you're a sole proprietorship, which means that you're pretty much like your own business entity. And
hmm
then you pay 20 something dollars for a fictitious business name, which that helps you get like a bank account and run business as that business, that name that you created. So with maybe less than $50, you could start a business in California. Okay.
Yeah.
We spend more money on that than anything else, and then we complain when we could start trust. We could start a business. We could start a nonprofit. A nonprofit does not have to be a church. If you want to teach people about gun safety, if you want to fight for gun laws, you start a nonprofit. You could start a
Mm,
nonprofit where you ask people to help you with the money, and then it's a tax refund or any. I mean, I'm not a business person. I'm not an accountant, but just what I'm trying to say is look this shit up, guys, because that's gonna be the future, and it's becoming that now. We're living in a country where people need to have multiple streams of income just to
yeah.
survive, right?
Yeah, it definitely helps, and that's one thing that I'm actually looking at right now is because I did retire out from the army. I do have a pension from them,
Yeah,
and I do have a small VA disability check, but I'm dependent on the government with those two checks, right?
correct.
And I don't like that. I don't want to be dependent on the government at all,
No,
because really, honestly, you badmouth the wrong person. Next thing you know, boom, you
whoa,
deleted. Oh, we don't have your DD-214. You
yeah,
didn't really serve, did you?
and you
And
guys gotta understand, Trollworks never keeps his mouth quiet.
I don't shut up. Nobody can keep me shut up. So that's actually something that concerns me. And I know how a lot of the senior leaders operate.
Yeah,
I know, for example, that I wasn't a real huge Obama supporter back in 12, and because I just didn't think he was the best qualified. And it was something as simple as sharing. I think there was an Air Force colonel that was going off about how he was using, that the president was using all government resources to go on private house hunting trips, and it kind of made the news, but that got shut down real quick. And I think I like shared it, like, hey, have you guys seen this? And from like one day to the next, man, I was getting on my Facebook page, I was getting like an average of, let's say, 10 likes per post. It wasn't, nothing big,
yeah.
but from one day to the next, it went to zero, and it stayed at
Damn,
zero for months. And it
bro.
was election year, right? And
Oh,
so from 2012, that's the earliest I ever heard of Facebook actually shadow banning people. And I was still posting, I was still able to see stuff, but nobody was seeing my shit. And I even had one of my friends confirm it. He's like, dude, I thought you fell off the map. I thought you weren't signing in. And he goes, then I went to your page and I saw you've been posting every day like you've always been. And I'm
what?
like,
Yeah,
yeah. And so,
yeah,
like, we didn't even have a name for shadow banning back then,
yeah.
but I was
Nah.
getting shadow banned back in 2012. And it was like shortly after I think Obama and the Clintons went and had like a big powwow with Zuckerberg, and
Oh,
I
I
guess
recall that.
pulled them over to their side and said, hey, you got a lot of power here, blah blah blah. You can help swing an election.
Yeah.
And that's when the whole let's use our power here to sway votes. That's
Was
when it
that when
started.
the rappers were saying that slogan, "Vote or die"?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
think
think it
so.
was.
Yeah, I think
So
so.
check
Yeah,
this out, bro. If I
2012.
make a shirt that says vote or die for gun rights," you think that's gonna fly, bro? It's not.
You know what? If you make it, I'll put it on my website, man.
No, but
So
like what I'm trying to say is that uh, they always use things for their agenda, right? Like they went
yeah,
out with Mike Zuckerberg and did that whole thing. I remember that, right?
yep.
And isn't it funny now that Elon Musk did the same thing? Now they're against it. Uh, the thing is with Elon Musk, guys, I'm gonna say something. I don't care. I'm saying it. Elon Musk did not buy Twitter for freedom of speech. He might be using it for that, like trying to say this and that. But if you really guys understand what Twitter does, Twitter never deletes none of your posts. None,
Mm-hmm.
nothing. If you
Mm-hmm.
shared a picture, if me and you share something privately, it's in Twitter
Yeah,
server,
they've got it.
right? Any
Yep.
pictures, bro, that I sent to you, I might have been drunk and I texted you some dumb shit. Twitter has it in
Yeah.
their whole cloud atmosphere. So
but
now,
they might delete it for the right price though, if you know the right
yes,
people.
yes,
And
but
that's what I think it's about, because
yes,
now he's got like billions of tweets of people that are saying shit that, if it was the other side, would have been deleted, would have gotten the people banned, and now he's got all that evidence of people saying it on the one side.
yes,
Ironically, it's coming at a time where society seems to be shifting from, kind of left to much more right. I
correct.
don't think it's ironic. I think it's intentional. I think, Musk is getting this. His wheels are always turning, man. He's a very smart guy,
Yeah.
but I think he's like, man, I got this is would be so powerful, and
So
I
now,
could just buy it.
now you have dirt on whoever the heck you want, right? Because who mostly used Twitter? What side?
Generally, the left.
Okay. So now you're gonna have a lot of dirt, and who kind of created this? The KGB. They would remember try to get dirt on anybody. The CIA, right? Why was the FBI, right? Like they would
Mm,
create all this stuff, and somebody that killed himself in prison lately. Uh, it starts with Jeffrey, and then
Ma-
it,
McAfee.
no,
Wait,
his
who?
name.
Joe Jeffrey Epstein.
Yes,
Is that who
but
you're talking about?
another
Okay.
person. Ooh, what's his name? Remember
John McAfee.
McAfee? So when McAfee said, if you guys didn't know about this, is when he moved into where was he at? Belize. When he was in Belize, he knew what he was doing. He gave all the new Belize government, right, computers computers. He gave the whole police station and government of Belize free computers. Now, as somebody that has worked in network security, and McAfee is out there type of person, gives you a free computer for no reason, but to get in your good side. You think this man doesn't know how to access whatever's on your computer, right? So so they were trying to remember for a while. Then Belize didn't want him anymore because I guess he said he found out all this information. At the same time, one hand washes the other. But what I'm trying to say is that Elon Musk has a ulterior motive for the purchase of Twitter. A lot of people say, and I don't know how factual this is because I have not read up on it, that Elon Musk is in the pockets of the Chinese, and a thing that's been happening a lot with the red state is that, well, the new red state, right, is that do you guys know that China has been sending chemists down to Mexico with the cartel and teaching them how to cook fentanyl the proper way, because maybe they're mad at us for the opium shit that happened to them a while back. I don't know.
Well, I know China is definitely trying to take us out. They see us as their number one threat, and they will use multiple means of taking us out. They've got over 3,000 agents in the United States. That report came out about a year ago, year and a half ago.
Correct.
They're embedded in every major Fortune 500 company. They're embedded in every major federal agency, the ATF, FBI, CIA, Secret Service, the military. They're all the institutions, Harvard professors, they're everywhere. They're everywhere in the United States, and those are just the ones we know, right? Like over 3,000 that we know.
Right.
Um, but yeah, do they want to see us go down? Yeah, absolutely. Have they been stealing our info forever? They've been stealing our, classified military documents forever. They've been infiltrating into all of our organizations for at least a decade or two.
Yeah.
Um, and even that whole fucking there was a period where like they were talking about Asian hate for so long.
Oh, yes, remember they were
And
pushing
I
it a lot?
think I don't think that Americans were hating on Asians as much as they were reporting it was happening. Kind of
Yeah,
like I don't think COVID was quite as bad as they were making it out to be,
yeah,
right? And like there's tendency of the media to embellish, right, to
correct.
make things seem like they're, oh my god, it's a disaster. And it's because they want you to watch and be tuned in, and
But
if nothing else, they've got the financial
mhm,
factor there, right? And
yes,
you can that is independent of any, which side are they on, whatever. They are businesses, for profit businesses that are trying to maximize their profits, okay, and they're going to
correct.
do it any way they want. There's already been a Supreme Court decision saying that the news agencies have no requirement whatsoever to report the truth, right? They can purposefully report lies because they're passing themselves off not as news agencies but as entertainment venues,
Yes,
right?
that's when
That
they
it's entertainment, and so
that's
they have
how they
no
change.
need to broadcast truth.
Correct. Yes, that's why a lot of the places, if you guys noted, changed it from news to entertainment the companies or something. I don't know, but a lot of outlets ended up changing from that to that. Now, another thing is that if you guys don't believe all of this, they always show it in your face. The way some of this stuff works is that the world, right, works in a way where whatever you do, good or bad, you're gonna get it back. It's karma, right? If you
Mm,
believe, whoever you believe in, if you believe in God, whatever type of belief you believe in any type of religion, or spiritual journey that you're in, it always says that karma, right? What goes around comes around. There's a saying that people use that the world is a river, right? Now, rivers are slow, tame, rough. It just depends on how the river's working today. The
mm,
world is a river, but it's a circular river. So that means that everything's gonna come back to you. So these
yeah.
people believe in stuff like that. So in order for you to do something without hurting getting that return on you, is that you gotta tell that person, right? Just like if somebody breaks into your house and is facing you and they're a threat, you're able to shoot them, right? In Texas, you guys have something else where if some your wife is cheating on you, you walk in your wife and then you catch them, you're able to shoot, right, or something like that, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, I don't know the technical side of it, but so I mean, it's because if you tell somebody, "Hey, leave my property," and they're threatening you, and you're telling them to leave, whatever
uh,
happens to them, they have it coming, right?
they're going down.
Yes.
I
Okay.
mean, they're going to have a weapon on them whether they had one or not,
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so you guys understand, right? Yeah, crime of passion, T for Texas. So you guys understand that in order for some people to do stuff to you, they gotta tell you. And how do these people in power you do it? By making shows, by telling you in the news blatantly. By there's a show. I don't know if you guys seen it. I think it. I don't know where it's at. It's I think Hong Kong Vice or something like that. And this show is about how the news thing in Hong Kong actually works and how they were like, well, there's no murder if you don't report it a certain way. So there was this American guy that was one of like the only ones that actually was able to get hired by Hong Kong News, and he tries to figure out why is there like no murders reported when there's murders going on and all of this and all of that. Well, I guess the way that the Hong Kong community works is that everything is kept underground, so that means that whatever news you're getting is being censored. They're not telling you the full story,
Yeah. Well,
right?
China's always been bad at not letting their people know what's going on.
Yeah.
They restricted the internet for the longest time. I think they're still doing it. At the national level, they've
Mhm.
been restricting the internet for at least 20 years.
So
I know that, for example, when Microsoft wanted to sell their products in China, China told them they couldn't do it unless Microsoft gave them all of the code for their products. So they ended up giving them all the code for Windows, all the code for
for real?
Office, yeah, to the Chinese Communist Party. And once they gave them all the code, then they were authorized to do business in China. And what it take? It took a couple of months basically, and there was like a Chinese version of Windows that was, very, very eerily similar to the Microsoft version. But that's what they do. The
Oh man,
Chinese are really big on reverse engineering everything,
yeah.
and picking it apart and rebuilding it as their own. So I know with Hong Kong, Hong Kong used to be part of the British Empire, right? Like
So
they were
that's
under
yeah,
UK
that's
protection.
the thing right there. Tokyo Vice, guys.
Yeah, and so they ended up going back to China, to belonging to China, and it wasn't supposed to. They were supposed to maintain autonomy, right? They were
Yeah,
supposed to have their own like free market system. They were supposed to have their own democracy. They were supposed to retain all the freedoms that they originally had under the UK. And China was like, yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then slowly they've been taking all those freedoms away, and that's what they were all protesting about in the
yes,
fall of in the early winter of 2019, just before COVID. They had these massive riots in Hong Kong, right? In 2000, in like November, December 2019. And then the last news report I saw about the protests in Hong Kong was that those protests had spread out of Hong Kong to mainland China in places like Wuhan, right? And I'm like, whatever, who cares? But then there's this like new disease that comes out, and everybody has to quarantine, because if you don't quarantine, you're gonna get arrested because there's this new disease. Man, that wasn't because of COVID. It was because that was the Chinese government's
because it was
way of
popping.
putting down the riots before it had a chance to explode across the country. Because the the last time the Chinese were like desperate for freedom, and it like swept the country, right? This drive for freedom was, it culminated in Tiananmen Square, the Tiananmen Square massacre, where the
Yes,
Chinese murdered college students that were demanding democracy and freedom,
in front of
right?
the whole world, bro.
So, yeah, I don't think too highly of China at all. China, if you're listening to me, go fuck yourselves.
Bro, people do not understand that China, let's repeat that again, has had more murder of female babies than all the wars combined. All the
Mm,
damn wars that we fought, all
mm,
the wars combined, all those fallen soldiers that you guys have heard about, and countless soldiers that we have not heard about, China has murdered more unborn women. So you
yep,
guys think they're gonna give a about anybody else? Nah, bro. And don't get me wrong, the Chinese people are legit, but it's the government that we're talking about. Another thing that they did, that they're doing and they have been doing, is that China had this type of style of like kind of like Tai Chi, I believe, but something similar like that, which people, it's a spiritual thing, right? And this thing was making people's organs super healthy. People were not coming up with dementia, anything like that, because of this spiritual workout thing that they were doing, right? Well, they started outlawing this type of I forgot what they really call it, but they started out pretty much going after these people, stuff like that. Well, you know what there's going on right now that a lot of people don't talk about, and it's the organ trafficking in China. So if anybody with money needs an organ, they follow and they go look at the person that meets the criteria, because China has files on everybody, their health, whatever. The Muslims, the murder Muslims too, all these people that are healthy because of their diets, because of their beliefs, they don't drink, they don't smoke, stuff like that, and they end up disappearing and selling them for their organs because they have healthy organs. This
mm-hmm,
is known. This has been talked about. Uh, and then the people that say like, "Oh no, China is great. I could do everything in China." Blah blah blah. Half of the people that are saying that are foreigners. So China's
yeah,
smart, right? China's not gonna mess with a foreigner, because then you'll have the news. You know, you have that light
yeah,
shining on them. So if you talk to a national, it's a whole different story.
yep,
Now I'm gonna tell you guys a story that is true. I live in a place where you get a lot of Chinese people come over here, and they live in this type of apartments. And for a while, it was a lot of pregnant Chinese women. They were all pregnant, bro. They were all Chinese. They were all pregnant. They were all living in these buildings that were like apartment complex. So say that they were renting maybe like a four-bedroom apartment complex, and in that bedroom, there's probably like 20 Chinese women that are pregnant. Why
Mm,
were they all living in that? Well, because there's a type of rule in China where if they give you a certain amount of money, once you get pregnant, you're able to buy a property, and now you have a baby and a home, and now you qualify for citizenship in the US. So there's some citizenship rules in the US. Why do you think the Chinese were buying up so many homes after the market crashed?
yeah.
There's a lot of stuff. China, the government gives the Chinese people money to come here and start businesses.
Yep. Yes, they
We're,
do. Yes,
we're
they do. In
getting a,
fact,
go
there's
ahead.
a there's a oh, what's it called? It's like I don't know what it is, but it's some propaganda agency down in Houston. Right, it's not that far from me. They're all Chinese and they're broadcasting like it's their version of Voice of America,
Yeah,
which is basically a big propaganda office, and they're trying to tell everybody how great China is and all this bullshit. But they're that's just one that I know of, but I know that there's way more than that. Um, I think they're really good at reeling in politicians. They're really good at reeling in senior executives, CEOs, and whatnot. Um, Mark Zuckerberg, has been to China many times. You talked about Elon Musk. He's got a plant over there, and that you have to those businessmen, right? Like Microsoft, like the story I gave with Microsoft,
yes,
they
yes,
have to make certain concessions in order to go operate over there, right? And then
yes,
once you have it, like let's say Elon Musk's got his gigafactory going on, then they're gonna hold that over your head and use it as dangle the carrot. Okay, if you don't do this, we're going to shut you down, right?
yes,
It's bad business, but it's great for Chinese power,
yes.
right?
And another thing with China is that if you guys think China is a third world nation, you
No,
guys are mistaken highly, because there's places in China that are more like in China, the not let's not even, because America doesn't even have a middle class anymore. But in China, most of the people are way middle class, middle class.
yeah,
Like
China's
China,
got a middle class now
China has a
for sure.
middle class. Like the homes in China are beautiful. Like you guys need to understand that the Chinese don't like nobody, but they hate the US. And the reason
Yeah,
they hate the US is because we owe China a lot of money. We
well, yeah,
don't lose
that's part of
that,
it. That
like
yeah, that is that's part of it. They
the debt.
they the Chinese government has been buying U.S. bonds for decades, right? And they are our number one
Debt holder.
debtor, right?
Yeah.
Like we owe more debt to the Chinese Communist Party than anything else. In fact, if they wanted to try and collect on it all right away, they would basically collapse our system.
Yes.
And that's probably not too far off because I know they want to make their digital currency the world standard for trade. Right? They've been working on that. They've been talking about it. Right now, the world currency for trade is the U.S. dollar. If that shifts from the U.S. dollar over to the Korean digital yuan, our economic system will collapse. Guaranteed,
Yes.
it will collapse.
Correct.
So, and you think inflation is bad now? That will cause hyperinflation, and I
Okay.
don't mean like 10%. I mean like several 100% within a year, if not several thousand, to where it's going to be like with Zimbabwe and Nigeria and
Oh yeah.
Venezuela, where it takes barrels and wheelbarrows full of money just to go buy a chicken for your family to eat
Yeah.
dinner. You know what I mean? Like
Why you
it's gonna
think?
it will get bad if if we move off the US dollar. It will get really bad
Yeah.
really fast.
So why do you guys think that Venezuela ended up taking uh, their own Bitcoin thing now, right? Why do you think El Salvador is doing the same thing with the Bitcoin thing? Um, you guys need to understand that a lot of the stuff that you guys saw in Black Mirror, that show on TV or whatever, that has been happening in China for the longest time. I don't know if you guys remember an episode where it was to do with that the only way that you could own a house or be valuable was that you had a social media credit score, right? Well,
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah,
Chinese
yeah.
already have this. The Chinese have a pay system. I think it's called
Mm-hmm.
We Pay, or I forgot what it's called.
Yep, 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 yep.
That- That's the only way you could pay in certain places in China. Um, Go ahead, bro.
It,
I know you have
yeah,
something
and
to say
if you
about.
don't like exactly, if you don't even have a good credit score, like I would have a horrible social credit score, right? Like I've got
Yeah,
a great financial credit score. I have a horrible social credit score because I fucking don't care. I post stuff and I get banned all the time. Um, but that would limit me in China if I wanted to get on a taxi, a bus, a metro, if I wanted to get a job, if I wanted to open a bank account, if I wanted to get a loan, all of that shit would be negatively affected by my social credit score because that's their way of keeping you under control, right? Then
correct,
I was watching a video about this MMA fighter. Like he is like a Western style MMA fighter in China,
correct. Mhm.
and he goes around and he challenges all these kung fu so-called masters to a fight, saying,
Uh-huh.
basically calling them out.
Yeah,
And because he's really like upsetting, the Chinese national martial
yeah,
art and
yeah.
all these traditions and stuff, and he's basically seen as an enemy of the state, and his social credit score is like zero.
Uh-huh.
And there's a video out there on YouTube about how like he was challenging all these masters to fight, and one of the masters agreed to it, but it was like so far away that he had to get there. He couldn't have a car, couldn't get on the bus, couldn't get on the train. He had to like hop rides with people and stuff, um, because of his social credit score. And he finally got there, and he ended up, I think kicking the guy's ass, or the guy just declined to fight or something. I forget, but that was a perfect example of how they try to control their people through cutting off all of your resources, all of
Correct.
your all the benefits that you have, all of the rights and freedoms that you think you have in the states. Like they have seized control over all of that. And if you are not, toting the official party line, the Communist Party line, then you're fucked, right?
Yeah. So let me bring up something about China, again, since we're talking about the sport guy. Do you guys remember when I think it was LeBron James or somebody in the sports world ended up giving out a public apology to China in Mandarin? That's how much power you could tell that somebody has when you get somebody to actually make a public apology in their own language, because that means what? That if somebody from the US is this back in the days would have never happened. Like, what? I need to apologize to China for whatever I said now? It because America is we're supposed to have freedom of speech.
Yeah.
But now the Chinese are controlling what we're
Yeah.
saying. Like,
Fuck China.
that's scary, man.
I
That's
got kicked off TikTok in one day. Those Chinese bastards.
oh,
I,
somebody
I, I
said
posted
John
one
Cena.
video. It went viral. I had 534, I think, likes and over 3,000 views in like an hour and a half. And
Yeah.
those fuckers banned me, perma banned me. Fuck them.
Yeah, so I'm telling you guys need to look up, and then the last thing we have, because we're already gonna hit almost 2 hours, and I know people gotta do stuff, but I'm gonna say something, right? I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to this, but this thing is heading where China is kind of, I guess, talking about COVID again, right? Um, and their people are going into lockdown, and there's people saying that right now they're having a food shortage that it's getting so bad that in order for you to order food, this is how the Chinese do it now. So they get you so hooked on ordering food through your phone, through this, where you don't even use no more to go to the stores and this and that. That the only way they're able to make their purchases is they have to wake up at 5 in the morning, pick what they're gonna pick. As soon as the food service opens, which is the people that take your stuff to you or whatever, you have to hit it because if not, everything's gonna be sold out. So they're getting you used to doing things without the thing control of people that now they're saying there's a food shortage in China. So remember, China is the test ground for everything that they're gonna throw all over the world, right? Because if they could do it in China when China has so much power with the way that social media works and the way that they're able to control the masses, that means that they're gonna be able to do that anywhere else because China is large. So if they're talking about food shortages, just start looking up into all the food processing plants that have been burning up accidentally through the US and answer me, don't you think that's going to happen next in the US? And the thing is that you guys need to understand, you guys need to start prepping on your food, but you guys do not need acres of land to grow food, especially you guys that have a 3D printer. There's something called hydro growing, or yeah, like when you grow your stuff like hydroponics, right? And all you need is to learn how to build a proper solar power system that could control a small growth area for you to grow, and you could 3D print most of those hydro things, and all you need is water pumps and stuff like that that they don't use that much wattage. So
Yeah.
I mean, you guys need to learn stuff like that, to be honest.
Unfortunately, if there's a real food shortage, and I mean like severe,
Yeah.
we're not going to make it.
Nah.
And I'm going to tell you that because most of us cannot possibly grow enough food to support ourselves by ourselves. I mean, unless you are a farmer and you got 40 acres and a mule or a tractor out there, you're not going to be able to support yourself with what you can grow in your backyard. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And so that's really bad. And there's a comment there, BV Luminous. Y'all don't realize it would be cannibalism in America. I've said it before. If you've got lots of neighbors and you've got lots of ammo, then you've got lots of food,
Yeah.
right? But hopefully it never comes down to that. But could it? It could, and it will eventually someday. It might be in our lifetime, might not be in our lifetime, but a famine. We have the word famine, and we have these words because they exist, right? Because they
Correct.
tend to come back again and again and again. And just when we get fat and lazy and complacent, and we start thinking we don't have to go work, that's exactly when it's most likely to happen, right? Because I mean, how
Right.
many of us could honestly say that you know how to grow enough food to support your family? If you were given the land and a tractor, how many of you have seeds? How many of you have animals to start having them graze out in the field and multiply and stuff? We don't. Most of us don't. So the
Yeah.
fact that these food processing centers and farms are burning up, and that Bill Gates is buying up most of the farmland, that's very concerning to me. I don't like to be a conspiracy theorist, but you can't deny some of the reports that are coming out, especially if it's getting reported on mainstream sites that the Bill Gates, the guy that created Microsoft and then somehow became a vaccine expert, going around the world giving everybody vaccines and
And a
commenting on
philanthropist.
COVID, and philanthropist, and now he's buying up all the farmland he can get his hands on. There might be a reason for it. It might be a reason for it.
When
I
did
mean,
Bill Gates go into farming school? Does he even know
I
how
don't
to
think
run
he
a
ever went to
tractor,
farming
bro?
school, but I think he's just been buying it all up, because if the population continues to increase and the available land continues to decrease, eventually, it becomes that much more valuable, and whoever controls the food supplies controls the population.
And
Because
another
when
thing,
people are starving to death, they'll do anything for food.
yes, and another thing, if you guys haven't seen Soylent Green,
Mm.
Soylent Green, go watch that. Like, go watch it. I think they even have it free on YouTube. It's
There's actually like a drink called Soylent Green, and it's like they're trolling based off of
bro,
the
yes,
show. And yeah, like literally, you can go buy a drink right now called Soylent Green.
that is disgusting because if you guys don't understand what's gonna happen, they tell us. They've been telling us forever what's gonna happen, and the thing is that it's not a conspiracy if it's true. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna say something real quick too. Uh, the baby formula stuff, that sucks. But honestly, why do babies need formula? Like, I mean, I understand, but at the same time, I do not understand. Like, a lot, like my kids were raised on breast milk, to be honest. Luckily, I had a wife that was willing to do that. I understand some of women can't do it, or they just it's too tough for them, or they have medical issues. I'm sorry, but I was raised on no formula. Maybe that's why I'm the way I am, I guess, huh? No, but to be honest, like there's a lot of stuff you could give babies and they don't need formula. They shouldn't be taking formula. That's my personal opinion because we don't know what is on this formula or what they do put in the formula anymore. Uh, and yeah, go see Soylent Green. To be honest, if you guys watch that, you guys are gonna understand that it sucks having to be dependent on the government. Um, and somebody put in the comments that we uh we need to unite, and that's the problem, that if we are united we could overcome anything in the world. But the problem that they're trying to do is not have us unite, and they're trying to start wars within. And yeah, China is like I said, if you understand what the Chinese have done, you will understand where we're coming from today. uh because yes, yeah, fact, it's either that or just anything else, bro. But just be vigilant, guys. Try to. Oh yeah, man, that's crazy. All right, guys, so I'm gonna show you something real quick, and then we could call it a night. uh wow, wow, that is that damn, that's just, let me show you guys something.
Yeah, is
could
it
you,
the Soylent thing? Yeah, there you go.
could you guys see it? And they're giving you guys 15% off, guys. That's a great deal, guys. 15% off. There you go. Look. Wow. Oh my god, bro. 20 gram plant. Oh, 28 vitamins. Ooh, look. If you guys don't know why I'm acting the way I'm doing, because this is just the same as the damn show. Exactly like the show or the movie. It's a movie. Which is so scary, to be honest. So yeah, go watch that movie, Soylent Green, and now you guys are gonna understand why what we just saw right now is ridiculous. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Uh, hopefully you guys enjoy this type of talk. Trollworks, man, it's always great having you, bro. You always
Yeah,
have a
it's
lot of
always good
knowledge.
talking, man.
And do you want anything to share with the people?
Let's see. We talked about most of my stuff. The website, go check out the website, trollworks2a.com. If you want to order something tonight, I'll give you 2 for 1 tonight. Um, Also, I've got a couple works in the order in line. I did my arc, the purple and orange arc. I shot that over the weekend. Pretty cool. I got some footage. Don't know if I really want to share it, but I might. So if you want it, hit me up. Working on a King Cobra 9 in green and purple. I did have one small video where that was printing. It's almost complete now. I really pretty much just got to start assembling it. I think maybe print one or two more pieces. And after that, I've got the parts I needed from Riptide Rails. Thank you to them very much
Shout out
for
to Mr. Ross.
they, yeah, they gave me like a prize, I guess, for the last roast, right? Um, so thanks to them, and I got some parts from them for the FGC 9 Mark II, which will be after the King Cobra. The video, don't forget, video 3 seconds clip panning to your GAT, and I need that by tomorrow if you want to be in on my next reel. And that's about all I got, man. Let me know if you guys got anything for me. You can shoot me a message on Instagram. My Instagram's Trollwerks, and my backup is trollwerks.atf. So hit me up, man.
Oh, also, all his stuff is linked down below. Did I link your new site? No, huh? I don't think so.
I don't know, but you
Or
probably used the
yeah,
last one I
everything.
gave
Yeah.
you,
So what?
which
Yeah,
didn't have the updated website. So
yeah, guys. So everything for him is down below. His social media, every how you could reach. I think even his email might be down below on the description. Make sure you guys like the video, please. Share, subscribe. That's how we're gonna get this information out. That's how people are gonna know about what me and Trollworks are talking, because not a lot of people talk about stuff like this. This is we're telling you guys the truth. We're not making anything up. This is all private. This is all in the open. If you guys take the time to study and figure it out, you'll see it connect, and just watch Soylent Green. That's all I'm asking. Like, watch that movie, and you're gonna understand that there's people that actually are controlling our future for us, and we need to do something to stop it, or at least slow it down. And that means that we have to start uniting and start being a little bit more wiser about the choices we make and the way we think. Thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys being here, and see you some other time. Be safe. Also, start sending your builds to memebuilds2a@gmail.com. I'm going to start working on somebody sponsoring the show, see if we could get a gift for this winter that's coming up. And Ron Bear, if you're out there, bro, you have till the end of today to hit me up so I could give you your hat, bro. Thank you guys. Take care and see you. Hasta luego.